a lot of people come to me and they say, oh, I'm interested in real estate. So we know what you want to work on. We know you want to buy property, you want to work on property. That's fabulous. The question is, what? So the first thing to do is identify what kind of real estate you want to work on. I was in the import-export business. I was manufacturing merchandise in China, importing it here and selling it to chain stores. And I would always have to make it again and again every day. So I would go into a buyer for like a chain store, like Target or something, and I would show them, oh, this thing that we made for them. And they would buy it and it would sell well. And then they would come back to me and go, what else you got? I'm like, wow, I don't want to have to keep doing that. I mean, we made money doing that, but it wasn't something that I liked. But I like real estate because I own it and I don't have to make it again every day. Like I own it and it's a long-term vehicle. So that was really appealing to me. I think in long horizons of time. So as I consider how I'm doing real estate and why, it's all in my long-term plan, and real estate is conducive to that. I'm focused on residential real estate first. And I said, well, I'm not interested so much in commercial because I don't want to be dealing with companies that go out of business and all that. I wanted to be in real estate. I wanted to be with the bills that people had to pay. Food, shelter, health, transportation. Those are the big ones, right? Food, I'm not selling food. I did that already. Shelter. Okay, good. This is the shelter business. I said, well, people have to pay that bill to live. I want to have the bill they have to pay. Like, no messing around. So that's the business I want to be in. Like, everyone has to live somewhere. I want to provide that kind of housing. Good. That's why I chose residential real estate. And then I quickly found out that, okay, I bought houses and a few houses. Like, same time and effort almost that it took to buy a house, I could buy a bigger building. So it's like I can do the volume by buying multifamily buildings by adding a zero and doing more at one time, more in one transaction than I could by buying one house at a time. But I had a gap in my knowledge there of how to operate multifamily buildings because, I can buy houses. I lived in houses. Okay, great. But what about if there was toilets to change or a lot of people to deal with? I didn't know how to do that. So I found a partner that had a lot of units and wanted some help growing. He had the knowledge of having a lot of units. So that was good for me. See, I didn't know what it was like to have a lot of units, and I got someone that did, and we had a partnership to buy a building together, and that's worked out. So that's how we dealt with that. This course deals with multifamily real estate. Multifamily real estate usually is more than 4 units, and that's looked at differently than single-family homes. Single-family homes or 1 to 4 family homes, banks look at them one way as residential property. And there's less risk as you get more people living in a place, right? So banks look at multifamily as the safest class of asset, and they lend differently and treat that differently. So we're talking about multifamily. It's more than 4 families, and that's where my focus is. I'm a very big advocate of specializing in a particular area, learning it so that you can become an expert. It's so vast and there's plenty of things to concentrate on. You want to specialize, focus, become an expert. And then obviously there's a learning process. So you want to learn what you need to know. You're going to get help. You need to get help. You're going to need attorneys. You're going to need property management. You're going to need repairs and maintenance. You're going to need partners. You're going to need investors. You're going to need banks. You need tons of help. And those people want to work with someone who knows what they're doing. So focus. And then once you conquered and became an expert in one thing, you can branch out into other areas. There are a lot of parts to owning and successfully managing multifamily deals. As I think about it, if someone came to me and said, okay, well, how do I start learning about the business? The first thing really to do is to learn about real estate finance is a great first step. The expenses and the cash flow and how that works. Oh, okay, well, what makes up the revenue? What makes up the expenses, what that typically looks like for a property, and then how banks look at that. Another step would be how to manage these properties from a repairs and maintenance perspective, increasing the rents, the leases to maximize the value of the property, how to market the properties for lease, how to market the properties for sale, depends on what you're doing. Those are primary things to work on. And then a lot of people say, well, how do I find properties? Like the internet is a good source of finding properties, also driving by neighborhoods you like, noticing who's selling what brokers are there,